Sharp came here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com. So the question of the day is, how do you spot a toxic person? You talked about this in one of your videos, but you didn't really go into details about how you go about spotting a toxic person as far as a woman or a man involved, etc. So that's a good question. When it comes to I'm gonna say toxic women. One of the easiest ways to spot a toxic woman is number one, she's talking about herself all the time. She's talking nonstop. You have a hard time getting a word in. She keeps interrupting you. And that's very rude. And they don't ask you questions about you very much, if at all. And, the only time you really can get a word in is if you interrupt or wait until she stops talking. So they call these people narcissists. Yeah, that's what they call these people. They talk about themselves. It's really all about them. Really, it's not. They're not really into a man or anybody else for that fact. They're just into whatever they can get out of you, and when they get done with you, it's on to the next one, basically. And then you got the next sign is they usually are control. These people are usually control freaks. They every time they come into a certain environment, they usually want to take charge of you, of what you do, what you say, and even how you think to some degree. And they if you disagree with them, they usually get pissed off or flip the fuck out. And you really can't. It's really very difficult to talk to people that's like this, toxic people. And you shouldn't try to change their mind or change their way of thinking or try and show them a different way, And they're very emotional too, and they're very irrational, and a lot of these women are broken. So, they pretty much want everything to go their way, and whatever you got going on, they want it to go their way as well. So, being a control freak is another sign. And the next thing is they're really they're moochers. These people. You ever call somebody, and somebody ever called you, and when you pick up the phone and start talking to them, and they're just talking about what's going on with them. They're like spiritual vampires. They keep whining and complaining and talking about all the drama that's going on with them, all the negativity and all that stuff. And by the time you get off the phone with them, you feel emotionally drained. So these are what you call moochers. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes even when the phone rang, you're dreading of not answering the phone. So that's another sign. I call them moochers. And the next thing is they usually have a lot of drama going on. They always feel like they always have some type of problem. And they really don't have any no empathy for anybody. They always think everybody is against them. They don't support anybody, but at the same time, they want everybody to support them. And they always whine and complaining, and they never try to have a solution to the problem. They want you or someone else, or maybe their parents, to help them with whatever it may be. And they never look in the mirror and think, well, you know what, maybe I am the problem. No. They're always looking for somebody else to blame, and they automatically try to blame somebody else. And they always seem to not want to be alone. They always want somebody around, regardless of the character of the guy or whatever, or the person. So that's the next. So and the next one is they're very jealous and judgmental when it comes to anything that you do or anybody else do. You know, they like to gossip. They, you know, um, they're not just not very classy as a woman. And you know, you 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 they not doing very much themselves, but they always have something to say about you, and it's never enough either. I don't give a damn what you do. You can fuck them right, fuck them good. That ain't never enough either. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't please these type of people. They might be okay for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then she's on to some next shit. And then the next thing is, a lot of these people tend to be liars and exaggerators. They really they think their word is law, and what they say is better than what you're talking about. And you know, they're just their whole demeanor and who they are as a person, everything is based on a lie. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in morals, good morals, and doing the right thing and karma. You know, they don't really care about any of that shit. All they want, they'll do and say almost anything to attain what they want. You know, especially within the moment. And then they'll turn around later, a week or two later, or weeks later, and say, "Oh no, I never said that." You know what I'm saying? So you know, these people are just toxic. You know, telling the truth. You know, that's not really in their vocabulary. You know, and the last thing I would say is they tend to be very arrogant, and their personal opinions is the only thing that really matters, and they rarely see people as other people as equals or intelligent, and they don't really form loving relationships, and they don't really care about other people. They don't care about family. They don't really care about your family. If you get married to somebody like this, they'll play the role. They'll the image of them being in a good family is cool in the game for them, but in reality, they really don't care about no family, because if you really look at their actions, that's going to tell you everything. You know what I'm saying? But all they really have is their image. You know, they don't really have anything else. And a lot of times, the reason why they're the type of person they are, or the woman they are, is because their mom weren't shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe their mom is more than likely she's fucked up, or maybe the mom was married to a guy, and you know they just probably didn't have the best relationship in the world. So she grew up looking at her parents act a fool, and she modeled that shit. And what she's doing, she doesn't really think anything's wrong with it, because she's just, some people just, we tend to model what we saw when we was growing up anyway. But she doesn't really care. Even if she know, some of these people I know, they know better, but they just don't care. Because as long as they keep getting what they're getting, and whatever that is, they're cool. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing you can do with these people is just try and understand where the way they act stems from, and don't try and change their minds or teach them anything. Just try and understand where they're coming from, and that way they won't get pissed off. Because if you tell them, "Hey, chill out," or "What's up with this and that," if you try to reason with them, that's when they're gonna get upset and get offended. So what you should do, just ask them questions, understanding how they see things, and then plan your exit plan. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to be able to do very much around these people. You're always going to be limited. So the best thing you can do is plan an exit plan. And the fastest way to do that is just to try and see things the way they see it. Don't try and change their mind and get the fuck up out of there. I'm telling you. And there's some people that live with people and been in relationships with people, and they need to get rid of their asses. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens with a lot of guys is they meet women that's toxic, and after a while, you know, things become normal because they've been hanging around this person and living with this person for so long, and you know, they don't, you know, they just say, hey, this is how it is, all right, so they just settle. But you know, if you want to do that, you're not gonna be able to do very much. I mean, at best, you're gonna live a mediocre life. You know what I'm saying? And I think you deserve better than that. So plan your exit strategy and get the fuck up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you spot toxic women, toxic people. So if you like this video and if you thought it was any value to you, like and subscribe to my channel, and go get my book while you're at it, Love Can't Wait, which can be found on at Amazon.com, and join my Players Club circle by clicking the link below as well. So until next time, Sharp Game is out. Peace.